because I thought that I was going to win it. I thought that you know, I, it never occurred to me that I'd be just walking out of that room without a championship, and it was hard. It was real hard. Shoot, 12 years later, it's still hard. God's hubris says, "I'm taking business law. I have to memorize like every law in the universe." Thanks for joining us, God's hubris. Um, Sorry that you have to take biz law. Is it slow on your end or mine? Says Sun El Rico. I don't know. It's on a delay, Sun El Rico. 3-minute delay. And I don't know why we're raising the minimum here. The reason we're raising the minimum here is because I got distracted and looked at the chat. Normally what we want to be doing is raising to 300. And now we got Rick just shoving on us. Yoki Pocky, Dutch, do you ever play on Stars or Full Tilt in Mexico or Canada, etc.?
At all yet?
No.
Lobby?
I haven't for a little while. Okay, so we're gonna make the 300 that we're supposed to be making it. Yoki. Not yet. I haven't played W Coop. I haven't gone out to Mexico or Canada to like play F tops or anything like that. I might. I've been thinking about it. Looking at this $9 million tournament today, really started making me kind of Jones for some stars. LeSchwags, Dutch, there's a person streaming the 9 mil final table if you want the link. Nah, it's okay, LeSchwags. I don't really want to live vicariously tonight, but feel free to post it for anyone else who wants to leave the stream. But just before you leave, just make sure to hit the follow. Just make sure to hit the follow button. Sandbacks. Let me go on a Bitcoin rant for a second in the stream. So Sandbacks asks, Dutch, what's your thoughts on Bitcoins? Sandbacks, I'm glad you asked. I love them. I think they're one of the coolest things that have happened in modern history. I think it has the potential to be as disruptive as the internet. I really do. We have the potential to completely disrupt banks, credit cards. If you look at, if you look at what's going on in America right now, where, they talk about the disappearing middle class, as if like, 100,000, somewhere maybe between 50,000 to 100,000 is middle class. The fact is, when you actually look at the incredible disparity of wealth in this country, there is no middle class. 100,000 is poor, and 30,000 is more poor. And then you got tons of welfare people who, basically the rich are training the poor to hate the more poor is basically what's going on. And what happens? You get into a spot where you go to use your debit card to buy a slice of pizza or a little bit of Taco Bell, and your bank is like, oh, you only have $3. You only have $3 in your bank account, and you want a $3.50 taco. Okay, we're gonna let that pass. We're gonna go ahead and front you the 50 cents, and we're gonna charge you $25 for that taco. It's like, wait. You're gonna charge me $25 because I don't have money? You know, this is how we're in. This is the culture we're in, and this is why we just keep on pushing the poor down and pushing the poor down. It's just fees and fees and fees. And now you have Bitcoin coming along, where it puts the power back in, just decentralized. There's no fees. It doesn't, there's no banker who's getting rich on your taco. I think I'm very long on Bitcoin. It took a while. Examoa over there, she was saying that we should try to get into Bitcoin when it was at $5. She was like, we should try to mine Bitcoin. I was like, it's funny money. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, it's imaginary. But, I mean, all money is imaginary. It's not like a U.S. dollar is based on anything except the trust of the American public that, it actually is something. All money is imaginary. At least with Bitcoin, you can kind of make an argument that, okay, well, there's, it takes electricity to mine a Bitcoin. So, it's kind of tied to that, and it's kind of tied to, the cost of hardware. It took a while for me to actually have that aha moment. Jesus. And I'm sitting here talking about Bitcoin when I really should be making it 2.5 times the big blind instead of 2 times the big blind. I don't know what I'm thinking here, but whatever. Queen 9 suited, take it down without a flop. I'm fine with that. It took a while before I had that aha moment, where I realized, oh wow, this is pretty cool. You mean this could completely eliminate it could eliminate banks, basically, is what it could do. It could eliminate, it could make banks disappear. It could make credit cards disappear. And all of these things, are institutions that are set up to basically take advantage of the lower classes. You don't really see, billionaires with, just drowning in credit card debt. It just doesn't happen. So I think that it's a real positive thing. I think that it has the potential to really disrupt a lot of, very deep pockets, and there's really nothing that they can do about it. It's just going to be one of those things that, continues to take off, and I don't really see it. I think that, we're starting to see governments trying to control it, and these governments are fueled by lobbying groups that are fueled by, Wall Street, and we've got, China basically cutting off and saying, what, you can't buy Bitcoin. And we saw this huge crash from 1,000 like all the way down, and it's kept on crashing. It got down to like 160, so it's very volatile for sure. But I'm very long. I'm long on it. I think that I'm really bullish on it. I think that there's some good arguments to suggest that it could go all the way up. All the way up. $100,000 of Bitcoin, that could happen. So certainly if you are sitting on a few $100, I would definitely pick up a coin or two. I think it's a better investment than picking up silver or gold. I think it's better than picking up a stock, a share of Google. I think it's better than most investment vehicles, and I also think it's good to use it. I actually put my donate button on here. Bitcoin now. Why? Because someone donated $2 to me for my Twitch stream. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's cool. And thanks, man. Thanks. $2. That's really cool. It really is. It means a lot to me. I get to go out and buy a beer. But now it has to be a really, really cheap beer because PayPal took like 36 cents out of my $2. 18% now goes to PayPal. I'm like, what? And then I keep on doing a little more research, and it turns out that if this guy has a change of heart and is like, you know what? I don't really think I'm going to donate that $2 to Dutch anyway. After all, I'm going to go ahead and charge that back. Then now I'm on the hook not only for the $2 and the fee, but for like $10 in like a chargeback fee that PayPal is going to charge me. And I'm like, well, that doesn't seem fair. And then like when you cash a check and it takes like a whole week to clear. Well, that's not cool. But then you have Bitcoin, where it's immediate and it's there. Like you go to this is why if I were to suggest one of these, offshore U.S. facing sites, I would have to suggest like, a Seals with Clubs type site that operates with Bitcoin, just because of how quickly they're paying out, and you cash out, you have your money in 40 minutes, and you've got I think that the risks that are associated with like a Bitcoin site like Seals with Clubs, for example, they have to be lower. There's so many more things, I know this personally, that can go wrong with the the payment processing of getting money into and out of an online card room, or really any sort of online environment. When you're using Bitcoin, there's no issues. The only real issue that you have is the volatility of the Bitcoin itself, and that's just going to, that's going to even out the more adoption it gets. And the really exciting thing to think about with Bitcoin is, thinking about it on a global scale, when you're going to be able to have, feeless micro loans and micro transactions, and you're basically able to get a very large percentage of the world right now is unbanked. Even a large percentage of America is unbanked, and this is why you still see people cashing employment checks over like the wild west. Or the station casino is giving you a free spin if you cash your check here. It's really kind of sad. But you start thinking about other parts of the world. How many people in Nigeria, like what percentage of the population of Ethiopia have a bank account? I'm gonna guess it's pretty low. But now with Bitcoin, they can actually have a way to store their money and transfer money between family members, and buy things without carrying a bunch of Zimbabwe dollars in their pocket, just to get robbed by some guy with a machete. So I think it's great. I think it's absolutely a disruptive technology, so disruptive that that if governments and lobbyists and banks could destroy it, I think that they would, but I don't think that they can. I think it's one of those things that there's no way to shut it down. It's decentralized. It doesn't require any one server. It can't just be turned off. So I'm excited about it. Very bullish. Bitcoin is inherently deflationary, causes pollution, makes money laundering easier, and could be significantly depopularized by making it illegal for people to convert Bitcoins to other currencies, says Jesus Hedge. And it's very volatile and a high-risk way to store currency. Gold right now would basically be predicting the world's economy, particularly the U.S.'s, becomes more unstable in the future. Okay. I take it, Jesus Hedge, that you don't think that, do you think that Bitcoin is just like not disruptive? Do you think that Bitcoin is just like not going, doesn't have the potential to eliminate these oppressive systems like, like Western Union and Visa, MasterCard? Because I think that it does. And I think it's something that I think that it's something that any freedom-loving person should support. Jesus Hedge says, actually, that's all that Jesus Hedge said. Thanks for joining the stream. It's always good to bounce ideas off of people, and obviously, I don't think that I've got all the answers. It was Sandbax, I think, he just asked what my opinion was on Bitcoin, and that's my opinion. I think it's an awesome technology. I think that it has the potential to change the world for the better. And I'm behind it. If my donation button is goes to Coinbase, so I'm behind it. This is kind of a weird situation. So he's firing out 12 big blinds, just a 12 big blinds shove. Are we ahead? We'll fold. Bitcoin is interesting but too volatile for me at the moment. Supply and demand is largely dependent on the black market. See, Big Badass Wolf, I thought that was the case. I thought that supply and demand was really tied up to the Silk Road, and that kind of turned me off at first. But then the Silk Road actually went down, and Bitcoin went down for a little bit, but then it stabilized right back up. I think that, the truth is that a very small number of transactions are actually, black market transactions on Bitcoin. So I don't really think that. And you say there are internet security issues involved with it. Also, there's no way Bitcoin won't be absolutely ruined by the big banks once they feel it is a threat to them. I mean, as a mind exercise, as a thought experiment here, Big Badass Wolf. Let's say that you are, what's his name, Jamie Dimon, right? Let's say that you are one of these big banks, and you decide, you know what, we got to kill Bitcoin. How are you going to do it? I mean, what would you do?
I don't think people really care. You're like going on a long rant.
Well, I mean, they're talking about it in the chat.
Yeah.
There's that 51% attack that maybe you can do, but are you really going to be able to get 51% of the mining power? Maybe. It probably would. It probably is doable. Yeah. Doing a 51% attack probably would, kill it. But if you did, an altcoin would just pop up in its place. It's like it's kind of like shutting down. It's kind of like trying to shut down the Pirate Bay. It's a hydra, man. It's not going anywhere. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Yeah, so thanks for joining the stream, Jesus Hedge, Love Hammer. We got ZASD Fun Reel. At least 7 people are streaming the final table. I wish that I was at a final table right now. I miss final tables. I remember when we were younger and we were making final tables, and we were even at a final table winning a tournament. It seems like so long ago. So Sun Rico says, since it is not regulated, the risk of fraud is higher. I don't really know what you mean. It's basically cash on the internet. So you don't have the kind of protections built in that you would have if you as a consumer that you would have for using, credit cards or, other forms of payment. But I would say the risk of fraud is much lower, from the merchant point of view. If you're selling something for Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about fraud. You don't have to worry about them charging you back, or you don't have to worry about them, buying something from a stolen credit card that you're going to be on the hook for. So I don't think that it's necessarily true that the risk of fraud is higher with Bitcoin. I actually see it as being the opposite. I think that even though it does kind of attract a lot of fraudsters, because it's kind of like Green Dot and Money Pack, people are kind of using Bitcoin as a way to get untraceable, anonymous electro cash. So you do get a lot of scams that are trying to get Bitcoin in payment. You get people who are going to run off with your Bitcoin, I guess. But I don't think that you see more fraud, wrapped up in Bitcoin. I mean, like, the risk of fraud is higher compared to what, I guess, is the question. There was some exchange that pulled out and people lost billions. I don't think that's true, Rico. I think that what you're talking about is probably MTGO X, Mt. Gox, right? And yeah, So a lot of people lost a lot of Bitcoin, but not billions. I think that the whole market cap of Bitcoin is, you know, is single digit billions, maybe 3 billion or 4 billion. And how much are all the Bitcoins worth? What is the Bitcoin market cap? Go ahead and see a flop with this hand. We do like 8-7 suited. It plays really well. So all the Bitcoins in the world right now are only worth 3.8 billion. And can we count on King Queen Ace Ace to do a little C bet here? Absolutely. This guy plays so crazy. You'll remember in the tournament yesterday that we won. King Queen Ace Ace had like triple the next biggest stack. So yeah, we're not going anywhere here. We're going to go ahead and hope that we are ahead, and we are ahead. We ended up getting screwed by the old 6-4. He did have a double gut shot, so it wasn't like it wasn't as bad of a beat as it might have appear, but it's still a pretty bad beat. But we also end up getting a refund by King Queen Ace Ace's aggressive play. What do we do here? Like, how do we actually fare in that hand? So we started the hand with 3,000, ended up with 2,600. We ended up losing 350. So not ideal, not great, but not horrible. Could have been a lot worse. We could have lost to a straight by King Queen Ace Ace and lost everything. So as far as like all the branches and in that little tree that we were climbing. The one that we found ourselves on, where we lose to Cousin James, but beat King Queen Ace Ace. That's not a horrible branch to be on. It's not the worst. Okay, King 3 suited. We'll go ahead and make it 500. Pretty big stack in the big blind, but we might be able to get away with this. King 3 suited is not really it's beating random hand, and now he just fires out. It's always confusing to me when your head's up against somebody with the pre-flop aggression, and rather than check to them and check raise a continuation bet, you fire out half the pot. This is always just such a it makes my head explode because I don't think it's a good move. I'm not gonna go and continue with the hand, but having said that, a check raise would have done the same thing and actually won an extra bet for me. So I just don't like. I don't like the donk lead is what that's called. It's called a donk bet. When you bet into somebody who has the pre-flop aggression and you can almost count on them doing a C bet. That's called a donk bet. And it's called a donk bet for good reason. This is pretty tempting to just make that call. More times, I feel like more often than not we're actually up against a bigger ace. Or a pair where we're not ahead. I don't feel like we're ahead there with ace 10. So, Sun Rico, not sure what you want me to talk about regarding staking. If you had some questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Thanks again, guys, for for joining the.
I think Enrico wanted to know the difference between staking and patching.
Well, the difference is, when you're staking
Yes.
somebody.
That's what it was.
Okay, so the difference between staking and sponsorship. The difference is that when you're staking somebody, you are going to be getting a percentage of anything that they win. You're investing in their play. When you're sponsoring somebody, you're not really getting any sort of return on what they, on how they perform in a tournament. What you are getting is a return as far as exposure, marketing basically. You're getting eyes on on a hat, or a patch. So that's the difference between sponsorship and staking. A lot of people confuse the two terms. A lot of people will email me and be like, "Hey Dutch, do you know where I can get some sponsors? And I really want to play the main event this year." Like that, check your terms. I think what you're actually looking for are stakers. Sponsors are going to put a patch on you for money, and usually it's because you're already playing the main event or already playing some televised event where they can expect to get, eyeballs for money.
To know about staking.com? I thought you already talked about that. It's not done yet, though.
Yeah, so staking.com, it's my new pet project. Basically going to be a staking and a sponsorship platform. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be. I don't think the plan was to try to get it up before the World Series 2015. I don't really know if that's going to be able to be realistic at this point, but I feel confident that I'll be able to get it up before 2016. Yeah, I know. A lot of people have tried to do things that are kind of similar. Yeah. Right now, I don't really feel like there is a go-to place to connect players with stakers. Right now, I think most people who are being staked in tournaments are either doing it, through face-to-face, deals with people they know, or they're blasting on their social media and, handling the whole thing with a big Google spreadsheet. It's very inefficient, so I'm going to try to solve some of those headaches and some of those logistical problems. Try to connect, players with stakers, and give them the tools to be able to sell, 10,000 different pieces, different shares of themselves to, 10,000 different people for $1 each, rather than having to, kind of limit what you're willing to take. Okay, so the A7 offsuit, is it good enough? Do we have fold equity? I think that we do. I think that we do have a little bit of fold equity here. I think that he's just kind of, making that bet to try to block us. And look, we did. We have the fold equity here. We are just fine taking that pot off without seeing a flop. We were just able to get 400 out of that guy, plus another 175 in blinds. So we were able to increase our stack by 30% with no risk, which is just awesome. Just awesome. We love it. Donk bet on any street or flop only? I definitely am fine with donk betting the turn, but donk betting the flop I think is just horrible. Horrible. Answered your question in 3 minutes, but I'll answer here too. Donk betting the flop, in my opinion, in a heads-up situation against a pre-flop raiser is just horrible. But on the turn, it's okay. You can't always expect a continuation bet on the turn. Jay Shuriken, I certainly do. Check out the FAQ. I've played a lot of other games besides poker, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone. One of the highs of the last few months was making my first 12 win arena run, which was awesome. I might do an arena Twitch stream here in the next few days, maybe tonight after this tournament's over. I really like just chilling out, not having to worry about actually winning at poker. It's nice just to be able to load up some Hearthstone and not care when you lose. It's nice to lose and not care. I'm still fiercely competitive, and I still hate losing, but it somehow the sting isn't really there when you're losing at a game that's just fun to play. It's like you lose at PvP in Warcraft, or you lose at, you know, Magic the Gathering online. That actually hurts to lose because you're losing tickets. How they can get away with playing Magic the Gathering online for tickets, how that's not considered gambling is beyond me. So what do we got? We got 11. I mean, this is. You know what? I feel like there's enough of a chance that King, Queen, Ace, Ace would re-raise us all in with hands that we really wouldn't want to race with. That with 11 big blinds, we're better just shoving and putting him to the test. Ugh, come on. 8, 7, hit it. Oh! See, this is kind of an interesting spot, right? Because if we would have made the 500 raise like we would have expected, King, Queen, Ace, Ace would have re-raised all in, and we would have probably ended up having to call because there would have already been, 1,300 dead money in there, and we're in a situation where we're having to call off our stack with 8 high. By, looking down, seeing a little more than 11 big blinds, and going ahead and making the shove there with 8-7 suited, we're putting him in the spot where now he has to make a call with ace high and hope that he's ahead. He's very rarely dominating our hand there because we're probably not making that shove with like ace 5 offsuit, ace 6 suited, but 8-7 suited, it's kind of an awkward stack. It's that tween stack, so I'm okay with it. All's well that ends well. We don't have to think about it. Let's just river the 7. It's good. Let's take a look at the lobby and see where we are here in this tournament. So there's 2 tables left. Pays 5. We're in 8th place. Well, kind of getting down to the wire. It'd be kind of fun to make another final table. Be even more fun to actually actually get another win.
Do you know how to
get another
the,
win on Twitter or Twitch?
The chat into a darker chat box? Do you like it as a darker chat box? If you go down to the settings down there, you can make it darker. Some people were saying it blares.
Okay, I'll do it for you guys. Let's go ahead and do dark mode. Okay, there we go.
Domain name question about
Let's see. What was the domain?
And there was a follow up with the patch question by Big Bad Ass.
Sun Rico says, "Have you ever sold your action? Ever bought action? Any advice?" And yes, I have. I've sold action. I've bought action. I've been back since 2004. My advice to you, Rico, would be to treat it as a business decision. Don't back your friends just because they're friends. Otherwise, you're going to be losing a lot of money. You back somebody for one reason and one reason only, and that is because you believe that they are a positive expected, positive EV bet, that you have an ROI there that is positive. Otherwise, you want to give your friends money, just give them cash, because that's basically what you're doing when you're backing people just because they're buddies of yours. And it's nice to want to be able to root for somebody, but it can really cause a lot of strain on a relationship when when your friend is losing your money. So that would be my advice. Sun Rico says, there is merit in the donk bet, especially min bet from early position. It is extremely tilting. I mean, it is tilting, but on the other hand, it's also letting you off light. I feel like I just think it's wrong. Sandbacks. Sweet domain. How much did you have to pay for that domain? I'm going to go ahead and say no comment on that one, Sandbacks. Bought it in December. I was working on the project under pokerstakers.com, but when the opportunity came up to actually buy staking.com, I had to have it. So made some sacrifices. It was more than I would have liked to pay, but I think that it gives credibility to the idea just right off the bat. So happy to have it. Big Badass Wolf. Hey Dutch, you've been around live final tables a bit, I would assume. How does it actually work when some random guys get to a final table and they all wear patches? How is that deal negotiated? Is there a Stars Full Tilt rep at every live event? How much are they paid? Yeah, so Big Badass Wolf, I mean, usually how it works is that, yes, there is a Stars and a Full Tilt rep. There's just kind of, around the World Series, and they'll approach you when you make a final table. Sometimes you'll have poker players who are big enough names and draws that they already have agents, so they have they already have patch deals negotiated before they ever even walk into the Rio. But for most people, when they make a final table, it's their first time. Most people, when they're going for playing for a bracelet, it's their first bracelet, and the majority of bracelets are handed out every summer to no-name players who, marketing reps wouldn't even know to get in touch with. So most of the time it happens right then and there. Right before the final table starts, right before the featured table starts. And yeah, good times. It's good to take a flop down. And how much does it go for? Shoot, it depends on what event and when we're talking about. Patches used to it used to be really expensive before Black Friday, before UIGEA. Players were getting $50,000 for a televised final table to wear a patch. Nowadays, I mean, I think a few grand. I think that if you were in the marketing department of Monster Energy drink, let's say, and you see somebody making a final table at the World Series of Poker that's going to be on the live stream, a poker player isn't going to scoff if you walk up to him and say, hey, look, would you wear our Monster Energy patch for $500, $1,000 for this final table, because it's just free money, and it's it's actually a sponsorship that players can enjoy to get behind. When it comes down to online sites, players are a little more reluctant just to put on a patch and sell them. They don't really want to sell themselves short. So it depends on what patch it is, what event it is. But shoot, these days, buddy, it goes pretty cheap. These days, I don't think that the days of getting $20,000 and $30,000 and $50,000 to wear a patch at a final table are sadly behind us, and hopefully ahead of us. We'll be optimistic about the future of our mind sport. Let's see. God's Hebrews. I'll trade you Hearthstone lessons for poker lessons. I like it. That's awesome, God's Hebrews. So this is fun. Pocket aces. What do we do here? We're going to go ahead and slow play them, is what we're going to do. Hope for a wet flop like that where we can check to only child, give him a little check raise action. And it is.
Oh, it didn't turn.
Oh, you know what? I think it's everybody else. Okay. So we'll go ahead and hope that he actually has something to continue with here. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. We've got to bite. We've got to bite. Does he let go? Is he going to let go? I think he's getting away. I think he's getting away. I wonder what he had. We might have messed up there. We might have missed a pretty big opportunity to double up if we just make the shove. And let's go ahead and make it 3 times the big blind. Hope to get a little action. Okay, we're fine with that. We'll take the blinds and the antes there. Wow. This is the kind of rush we like to see. Look at that. So we make it 2 times the big blind. Okay, yeah, let me go ahead and change this up. Settings, dark mode. Sorry that took so long to do, you guys. I thought that there we go.
Do you change the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry that it took so long to change that, guys. Yeah, and I agree. That's much better. That's much better. Looks much better as like a dark. I like it. Good call. Good call. I'm still such the Twitch virgin, guys. I'm still very new to this whole Twitch thing. Twitch fish. So God's Hubris, you said that you would give me Hearthstone lessons for poker lessons. Tell me, have you been able to get a few 12 win arena runs under your belt? I folded a strong hand to you. I wasn't bluffing. Says only child 702. No. No. And 6688. 6688. Check out the fact, my brother. You got Bobase 510. Would you wear a 2-pair Poker Pro patch? Sure. Because that shit is hella lame. I mean, I wouldn't. I would not wear a 2-pair Poker Pro patch. I agree, Bobase. Yeah. I am so poor, says Searsist, that I would wear a patch for a handshake and a lunch. You know, I think I might have some Poker Tilt patches. I would give you lunch to just wear that around, sport that around town. PokerTilt.com. I think that maybe there's an opportunity here to go around and just like patch all just patch all the Railbirds at the World Series. Just patch them up. Nope, Steve Fredericks, I'm not going to give you $100 to play a satellite, but I will give you lunch to wear this patch all through the World Series when you're begging for steaks. There are 7 players left in the Sunday tournament. How great would it be to be playing for $1 million right now? And ZSD Funeral, no, I don't think he did. I don't think he sniped. We're well into the break right now. You wouldn't have seen it. Good morning, Stackopoly. And we got Love Hammer. Dark background. I'm going snowblind. There you go, buddy. Yeah, I agree. The dark chat looks way better, guys. And for my next stream, I'm going to have to figure out a way to get music in. Have to figure out how to stream in a music feed. I play the pokers. child 702. Well, if you can't call up, well, since you folded, I'm sure I probably had you beat. I would have hated a snap shove. And that's true. I would have hated it if you would have just like snap shoved, because then I would have thought that maybe, you know, I was up against Jack 10 or a set of 10 instead of Jacks. But I would have still called. Okay, so fold equity. I play the pokers. It goes like this. Fold equity is the chances, you know, it's kind of the equity that you have when your opponent folds. Okay, so imagine like a hand like King 9 suited. You know, if we raise here, right? Maybe Be the Light calls. You know, everyone folds around to Be the Light, and maybe he calls, maybe he folds. The chance, you know, there's going to be a chance that he folds, and you know that chance can sometimes turn a hand that isn't actually a favorite into a favorite. You know, let's kind of, you know, let's kind of give an example here. Let's say that you have a straight draw, okay, and your heads up in this spot right here where it's like King 10-7, and you have Queen Jack, and your heads up, right? And you're in Wag 3 Reno's position. If he shoves with Queen Jack, and he figures that, you know, I mean, Queen Jack is never going to be ahead, but he figures that hands like Ace Jack and Ace Queen are going to fold most of the time. Let's say a hand like Ace Queen or Ace Jack folds when Queen Jack shoves. You know, let's say that Ace Queen, Ace Jack folds 70% of the time. All right. So what that, you know, what that is basically called is that's what we're referring to when we say fold equity. It occurs when, you know, a lot of times you're semi-bluffing with a hand and you're turning what would be a dog to pretty much any hand that you can be going up against. You know, to put it another way, let's say they have 2-3 of hearts on, you know, a 7 of hearts, 8 of hearts, 10 of hearts board, or like 10 of clubs board. So you have a flush draw, and it's like the weakest flush draw possible, and you have a 3 and a 2, and some guy, you know, check raises to you. So you don't really think that, you know what? We think that Ace 9 offsuit is probably the best hand. So this is a good example. When an Ace 9 offsuit is not the best hand, sometimes you're able to get a better hand, 3s, 4s, 5s to fold here. And let's say that pocket 5s, pocket 4s, pocket 3s fold here like 20% of the time. So that actually, that is what we mean when we say fold equity, and that is actually going to turn a hand that, you know, is a little less than a coin flip into actually an equity favorite, where if you make that, you know, same bet in that same situation, you know, X number of times, then you're able to actually come out ahead. So here we're going to try something a little different. We're going to try to get Only Child to make a bet into us. And he didn't. He didn't fall for it. He didn't make the bet that we would have liked him to. We're probably way ahead with our pocket 7s right now. So let's give a little value bet here and see if we can't get maybe a 4 or a 5 to call us. That's exactly what happened. We got 5-9 to make the call on the river. What we were really trying to do there was we were going to try to limp in and have Only Child, you know, pop it into 3 times the big blind, at which point we would re-raise. Now this is kind of a spot where we can just go ahead and call. A call, you know, might induce a squeeze play by Wag 3 Reno with worse than Ace Jack offsuit. If Wag 3 Reno shoves and Be the Light folds, we're going to go ahead and call. And Ace Jack, you know, it's not so bad to play in position against Be the Light. He's got a pretty huge stack. So let's see what happens. So now he's firing in half the pot. Do we feel like we're ahead? I feel like Ace Jack offsuit is the best hand here. I feel like we have him drawing dead to like 3 outs. I feel like he's sitting here with like an Ace 9 or an Ace 8. Let's go ahead and check here and let him bluff again on the river. Pretty good river card, because this actually makes it less likely for us to have a king in his mind. Wow. Can we value bet? Is there a chance here that maybe he calls with worse than ace jack? I don't think so. Let's just go ahead and take it down. I wonder if he would have called with ace-5. I wonder if we make that value bet on the end if he's able to call with the ace-5. I don't know. It's a good question. Final table.
Are you what?
Yeah, we're at another final table.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, could you tell
Let's go and see the lobby here.
About how you got into poker?
So it doesn't actually start until.
No, I remember when you used to.
It doesn't start paying until 5th.
It was I think Planet Poker deal or some other obscure online poker site where you figured out how to make deals and make money, and then you receive these checks.
So
right?
was that Searsist was asking?
Yeah.
So so Searsist. Let me go into.
He asked what was your bankroll.
Talk about it in 3 minutes. So here's how I got my very first bankroll for online poker. There was a site back 2am.com. And basically what it was basically like one of these free leagues, like NLOP or Club WPT, one of these free roll sites where you play free poker and you can win real money and real prizes. You can see these around the internet every once in a while. The prizes are usually pretty crappy, but it's the same kind of thing as like playing free rolls on like WSOP.com or Seals with Clubs free rolls. Poker Stars I think has free rolls every once in a while. So 2am they had like this this setup where if you were able to build 1,000 chips into 1,000,000, then they would give you $100 check. And I pulled that stunt off about 6 times before they finally changed the rules and said, okay, now we're only going to let you do this once. And I took that $600 and put it into Planet Poker, and never looked back. I've gone broke a few times, but that's how I got started. That's how I got started with the online pokers. My first experience, my first money won at poker was on a free roll site. Sadly, 2am.com is no longer available. It's no longer around. But, free rolls are all over the place. There's free rolls on WSOP.com all the time. There's free rolls on, all these other, shady US-facing sites. There's a lot of sites, like Zynga Poker, where, you can win, like, real prizes and, real money. And, I actually think that kind of environment where people can't lose is the future of poker. I think that one of the problems with our game is that people can actually lose money. No one has like a if everybody's basically free rolling, then there's no such thing as a gambling problem. It doesn't actually even count as gambling anymore if you're just unable to lose. And really, when people are putting time and energy into this, into these kind of free roll sites, they're giving away something that's actually pretty valuable. They're giving away their attention. They're giving away their time. That's worth something. Your time is worth something. Your attention is worth something. Right now, I'm not paying you, but it's worth something. Hopefully you're getting something in return from me too, because I feel like my time is worth something, and I'm definitely not getting paid, to do this. So, yeah, that's how I got my start, and I definitely I think that kind of can't lose poker probably is the future of our sport. Our sport. Okay, so 666 just picked up your book on iTunes. Looking forward to reading it. Thanks for picking it up, man. I appreciate it. That means a lot to me. I think I hope that I'm gonna actually say 666. Thanks, man. Let's see, Queen 4 suited. Let's just go ahead and fold that. So God's Hubris. You have some 12 wins arena runs. under your belt. I'll take some Hearthstone lessons. I mean, I feel like I kind of have a good feel for it, but I would love to. Yeah, I would love to get some of your input if I do a Twitch stream of a Hearthstone run, and that shit can be in real time. Like, who cares really if your stream gets sniped in a Hearthstone run? Sounds good. God's Hubris sounds good. I would definitely appreciate your your comment. Your thoughts when I'm playing Hearthstone. I love Hearthstone. I think it's a great game. It's going to be a lot more fun in a couple of years when there's actually a lot more cards to pick from. Okay. Yeah, 6666. Thanks for joining the stream, man. Jesus, that so sucks. I got completely focused on this and didn't make that C bet like I'm supposed to. So let's go ahead and make it now on the turn. I focused on chat and didn't C bet when I'm supposed to. This actually is a disaster. And now he's check raising me. I mean, okay, buddy, you can have it. I'm pretty upset with myself there. I'm supposed to make another 600 bet on the flop, and he's supposed to just fold. Kind of upset with myself. Okay, so I remember back in the day, Poker Party was the first online poker I played. Yeah, Party Poker. And yeah, those were the good old days, bud. Those were the good old days. Oh my gosh, it was just like a money machine. It was a money tree. Everybody, it was amazing. We didn't think it would end either. All the pros thought that it was just going to be a forever thing. A few of them figured out that it wasn't. I remember Scott Fishman would never leave. He never left his house when he had that. He had a full tilt rake deal. Those Red Pro deals were pretty sick. You get $5,000 a month, you get your rake back, and you get $30 an hour for playing no matter what limit you played. So if you can imagine this, right? If you played a 25-cent, 50-cent limit game where, I mean, it's pretty hard to lose $30 an hour at micro limit poker. You could play super small as a Red Pro on full tilt, $30 an hour plus your rake back. Not a lot of people thought that that was ever going to go away, but Fishman did, and he never left his apartment. I remember him telling me that. I remember him saying, I got to take as much money out of this as I can while I have the chance. And I was like, what are you talking about? While you have the chance? Poker's not going anywhere. It's just getting bigger and bigger every year. And, then UIGEA hit, and it got a little tougher. And then Black Friday hit, and it disappeared. And now it's not like a fun time to be a professional poker player, guys. It really isn't. I mean, unless you're, the Ryan Reeses of the world and the Martin Jacobsons of the world who are actually taking down really, really big events. If you're Anthony's, Zeno, it's a good time to be a poker player. But for most of us, it's not a good time to be a poker player. It really isn't. So let's see. Sometimes I stream my Zynga poker game. God's Hubris. I went plus 8K and a $400 buy-in on my iPhone today. That's the extent of my accomplishments. Sorry, guys. Love Hammer. Main event. Here I come. Gosh, the main event. That is an event. It's really a cultural experience. There's nothing like the main event. The World Series of Poker main event. It's not even a tournament. It's a cultural experience that just people from all walks of life show up to. And it was even more amazing, back at its super height, like 2006. I have a feeling that we're going to see a return to those numbers. People are still playing poker, and in a lot of ways, the shutdown, the shutdown of of the online sites after Black Friday, even though it has hurt the poker economy for people who are trying to make their living, playing poker. Most poker players, it's actually helped them. People who, such a high percentage of poker players were going broke, and it was a small percentage, but it was actually going to, the pros. Most of that money went to, the Isa Scheinbergs of the world, who end up, with $1 billion on the Forbes list this week. The Calvin Ayers of the world, and the Howard Lutters and the Chris Fergusons, who are, just taking 10 and 20 and 30 and $40 million headshots. It was a lot easier as a professional poker player to make a living when in a pre-Black Friday spot. But when it really comes down to it, is the poker economy worse off as a whole? There's so many people who would be losing a lot more money, and now they're able to play in the bar leagues and play play with their friends basically. I think that we're going to see a return to those Jamie Gold 2006 numbers eventually. I think that it was artificially driven up by the online sites that that basically use the WSOP to promote to promote their own site, and I think we'll see a return to it. So yeah, this is pretty fun. This is pretty fun making another final table. Now we are actually 4 for 4 now. Still batting 1,000. Another WSOP final table. This is actually pretty cool, guys. So this is my 4th stream of doing tournaments, and this is also the 4th time we have made a final table. So it's pretty cool. I gotta say, maybe I play better when you guys are watching. Yeah. So do we make a bet? Yeah, let's do. Queen 6 suited. That's good enough. We would love it if only Child or Papa Smurf woke up with a hand here, so that we don't have to feel like a pansy folding. But we're not calling. We're getting 4-3 with a queen high. We're never ahead. Whatever. So Lovehammer says he saw me win the 3rd bracelet last year. I owned that final table. I don't know if I would agree. There were definitely some times where I got lucky. I definitely got lucky. I appreciate the sentiment. Lovehammer. But that could have gone south. I did have to fade that 7-6 suited by Paul with my ace-9. Could have been a very bitter 3rd place pretty easily. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go on Twitter and let the followers know that they can come join us here on Twitch and see another final table. Come join the stream and let's talk some shop. Twitch.tv/Dutch Boyd. Guys, if you could do if you could do me a favor, it would really mean a lot. Just hit me up on Twitter, and if you have a Twitter, if you have a couple followers, retweet that shit. It'd be awesome to get a couple of some more people in here watching watching a $20 final table. What do we got? We got 93 live people right now. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday night. I know you could be watching the $9 million guarantee final table, but actually chilling out watching a WSOP.com final table is just as fun, right? Yes, it is just as fun. So, Steckopoly says, I bubbled final tables at the Venetian Main in between surgeries. I was pissed. Kathy Liebert wouldn't stop talking, though, so it was fun. I really like Kathy Liebert. Poker Cat. One of my favorite poker players. She ranks up there, too, with one of the tougher, female poker players. I know it's kind of weird to separate, male and female poker players, but it's done all the time, so I'm not going to feel bad for saying she's one of the tougher female poker players. She's a tough cookie for sure. Poker Cat, Kathy Liebert, definitely one of my favorite people in poker. She's one of those old guard. There's just no way that we're letting him see a flop for just 200 more. We're going to go ahead and take the pre-flop aggression, and we are going to go ahead and c-bet when he checks to us. And hope that he has some hand like, Jack 9, where he can't really fade too much. We don't want to see a check raise here. All-in check raise. Let's call. Psych. That's it. Next Win Main, the webcam is coming. Steve Wynn better allow it. That's right, Steckopoly. Back-to-back nights. I would like to take this down. This definitely is helping my mood getting to the final table here. We're not in the money yet. This is not that big of a tournament where they're paying all 9 spots. This is only 46 players in, so they're paying top 5. A $20 tournament, so that's actually a pretty big money bubble for $20. $96. Usually a min cash is going to be somewhere around double your buy-in, so kind of surprising. I think that is not what we wanted to happen. We wanted Toke to go ahead and take that down because WAG3 Reno, Wage Reno, or whatever that's supposed to mean, WAG3 Reno. So don't attack a drowning stack. Toke 22 just went from a decent stack to nothing, and we would really expect him to be shoving there. I'm surprised he didn't. I'm surprised that he just gave Tiger a walk. Head exploding right now. How do you give Tiger 043 a walk there, Toke? You have actual fold equity. There's no, another 1400. Tiger might fold there. You're not really going to be able to find a better spot than everyone folding to your small blind there. There's dead money in. I just don't understand it. I'm at a loss, you guys. An under the gun raise, pocket sixes. Ugh. Folding feels so nitty. It always feels wrong to fold, though. It always feels wrong to fold. But what are we going to do? Are we going to shove? Are we going to, raise? It's one of those situations where everything that we can do feels wrong. So in those situations, if you don't know what to do, it's okay to fold. An under the gun raise, 9-handed at the final table. He does, have one of the bigger chips, the bigger stacks, but I don't think he's just making that move with nothing. I'd be very surprised if, he didn't at least have overcards, and I don't think he's getting away from it. So, I guess the option that, what we can do is call. The problem with calling is it induces other people to call behind us, and then we're in the real awkward spot of playing, pocket sixes against multiple opponents. Against one opponent, it's not so bad because, most of the time they're going to miss if they have overcards, and you're going to kind of know where you're at. Multiple opponents, it's just, we can fold. It's okay to fold pocket sixes there. 10-4 suited. This is kind of fun. We'll go ahead and make a min bet, min raise, and hope that Toke doesn't expose us. If Toke shoves here, we're going to have to call and show everybody that we're coming to the party with 10 high unless one of these guys saves us. Now, let's go ahead and try to hold with a pair of fours. Hold! Hold! That's how you do it, Toke. This is why you should have shoved on your small blind, because you don't have fold equity here. You did have fold equity there. You're better off shoving with 2-3 offsuit with fold equity than shoving with a7 offsuit without it. Best case scenario is you're going to put yourself into a situation where you're a small favorite against a guy who usually has live cards. The problem with having to turn that over, though, is now we're what we call exposed. Anybody who's paying attention, and this is a final table, so we kind of have to assume that they're paying attention, is going to see that we just made this min raise with 10-4 suited, which falls in the lower tier of hands that people are dealt. It doesn't even beat the computer hand, a queen 7 offsuit.
Do you have someone in there with a replay of their hand? I don't know if you want to watch it and put it on the screen, or if you want to watch it later. It's the boom player.
The boom player.
Yeah, it's a replayer. Do you just want to watch it, or
Panatha?
Or you can do it after.
Can we do the review after the final table? Okay, so like this hand normally would be raising, but because we got exposed with a 10-4 suited, we're going to go ahead and just pass. We're just going to go ahead and give it up and wait. So what are we sitting here with? 9,400. We'll take the calculator out. We'll divide by 400 because it's just too much math to worry about. 23 big blinds. Pretty good spot. We're gonna have to take a little break here from our normal plan of raising aggressively. It's pretty tempting to raise there because not only do they have to worry about our hand and under the gun raise, they also have to worry about everyone behind us. But having been exposed with 10-4 suited kind of puts us in the awkward position of, who's going to buy it? So now we just kind of wait, hope to actually have, some big hand. Wow, look at that. How sweet of a position is that? Getting a lot of big blinds in pre-flop with pocket kings and actually having the best of it. If you're just joining the stream, the reason we're sitting here playing a $20 tournament instead of, scoping out our competition in the win main is because we got it all in with pocket kings against pocket aces. It's not a bad beat. It's a cooler, and it sucks. So Stickopoly, thanks for joining us. Big Badass Wolf. Thanks for joining us. What is this? Exmoor is officially announced by Blizzard.
They're talking about Warcraft Gold to play 4 accounts. It's officially announced.
Let's just go ahead and do the little max here. If he wants to go put his whole stack in against our 10-2 suited, he can. He's going to be slightly ahead. Maybe like a 57-58% favorite against our 10-2 suited. What we don't want to do, though, is raise and give him the idea that we're going to fold to his re-raise, because we probably would have to fold to his re-raise. So we'll just put him in the we'll put the decision to him. And when we're shoving all in there, keep in mind that we're not shoving more than 20 big blinds there. We're shoving what's known as effective stacks. When everyone folds in the small blind and you have more chips than the big blind, what you're basically doing is you're shoving his stack, not your stack. So in that spot, what did he have? 5,700. So he was less than 15 big blinds, right? I'm fine with shoving less than 15 big blinds there. To most of the time, we're going to be able to just get away with that shove. And the problem with raising, less than a shove is that by making it the normal 3 times the big blind, now it becomes really, really tempting for him to come over the top of us. So 13, 12. Go ahead and give that a fold. This is real money, Brainless. Yes, this is real money. But it's a tournament. Six, 7 of clubs. Do we raise it? We can. Nothing wrong with raising there. Okay, so what are we down to now? We're down to 7 players. Pays 5. We are... I think I'm going to go ahead and load the lobby up. So it pays 5, and we are in 4th position. 4th out of 7. We kind of like our spot. Kind of like our spot. Which stacks are we going to try to be picking on? I mean, all of them, really. The only one that... that we can't really put that much of a dent in is LV Cabby, but I mean, really, he's not gonna want to lose 9,000. He doesn't want to go from 28,000 to 19,000. Ugh. Papa Smurf is one of these drowning stacks. Do we call 8 to 3? 8 to 5, 9 high? No, we don't. We took a shot. We're making it. We're making it 1,000 to win 1,100, so it doesn't have to win, that often. If it wins 50% of the time, if it actually gets through the big blinds 50% of the time, then it's a profitable move. And when it doesn't get through, a lot of the times we're going to be heads up with the pre-flop aggression, and we're going to go ahead and take it with a c-bet. That's kind of the tournament game plan. Plan A, we'll call it. Brainless says, man, I want to learn to play poker so bad, but I'm 17 already, so I'm too old, I think. That's pretty funny. We got Go Mizzou too. This is Stubbs, Tapin's buddy from Columbia. What's up, buddy? What's up, Stubbs? Good times. Stubbs and I go way back. What has it been? 10 years? So, yeah. Good to see you in the stream, man. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, it's got to be pretty late there in, 4:30 in the morning? Actually, I think Stubbs might be here, I think he was living here in Vegas for a while. You live in, here in Vegas now? Or is it 4:30 a.m. where you were at? Okay, so this is a fold. Somehow we've let our position go from 4th to 7th now, just because of that Papa Smurf shove. Now we are dead last at the table, but it's okay. Everyone's stack is still kind of, teetering on this, kind of spot where everyone can do some damage to everybody else. Go ahead and give it a raise. Try to get through. Risking 1,000 to win 1,100. 1,000 for 1,100. 1,000 for 1,100. That's the goal here. Man, that's a quick check. Doesn't matter. Gonna c-bet anyway. Leaves us with 10 big blinds if he check raises us, which he does. And maybe we don't check. I mean, maybe we don't c-bet there. I just feel like you should always be online. You should always be c-betting, even when you're faced with what is a betting tell there. Generally the quicker someone checks, the more they're trying to induce you to bet. Because they're going for a check raise. That's generally how it works. I mean, there's enough in there. It's not like either one of us can just say, "Oh, who cares about that pot?" you know, it's 30% of both of us. So maybe but I just don't think you start leveling yourself too much online. Live, you can get away with not c-betting if you have a real compelling read on a player. Online, I just don't think that a quick c-bet there is enough. So what do we do here? I mean, it's kind of at that point where it's almost a shove. So 10 big blinds, we'll just shove. It's kind of awkward. We might have just went, oh, yuck, vomit. God. 9 or king, I guess, is what we're looking for. Wow. And somehow we hit it. This is luck of the Irish. Miracle. Miracle.
Yay!
It's a Sunday miracle. Wow. Wow. I mean, that was a cooler spot. You know, you're not supposed to be getting it in with, the worst of it when you have ace queen suited. But wow. What a way to catch up there. So 5-6 suited. Do we take a chance at doubling through the chip leader with a hand like 5-6 suited? I think yes, we do. Let's take the shot and let's go ahead and go for a little check raise here. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for a little 5,700. We're not going anywhere. If he puts us to the test, we're gonna just catch a 5 or a 3 or a 6. So, and now just like that, we are in second place. So, sucks to be you, Lizzie. I mean, great call on your part. You did have ace king, so that was a very tough call for you. Nice job. We go ahead and let's go ahead and make it the 1,500 bet and see if Tiger 043 just shoves it. Go for it. Shove it. Nope. We got a Papa Smurf min raise under the gun. Just fold it. Oh my God. Stubbs is saying that he's a floor man now. Suited up. Never thought I'd see you in a suit, buddy. Wearing a suit to work, bud. Stubbs, Dutch's old coke dealer, confirmed. That's pretty funny. No, never had a coke dealer. What do we do here? 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll go ahead and min raise. If Papa Smurf shoves, do we call there? We very well might. But I mean, probably not. We kind of like the situation where there's a little bit of tension going. We really do. We don't hate it. You know, we can almost kind of just go back and forth with LV Cabbie, putting the pressure on some of these smaller stacks. I mean, we're kind of at a point in the tournament where everyone's kind of a small stack, really. I mean, how many big blinds does our chip leader LV Cabbie have? 40 something. It's not exactly monstrous, but yeah, even so, we're liking our spot. We're liking our spot a lot more with that ace queen suited miracle. Here's the miracle. watching the stream, so you guys are watching the miracle right now. Oh shit! Come on, queen, king.
Is this the miracle?
Sweet. Yes, that is the miracle. So let's look at the lobby again. Nothing's changed except our position. We're going from 4th to 7th to 2nd, just all over the place. Everyone else seems to just kind of be trying to squeeze into the money. Can't really blame them. I mean, there's a pretty big difference between 0 and something. You know, there's a very big difference between something and nothing, and we are at that inflection point. So this is kind of a fun little spot. We'll go ahead and make the Ugh, that's the drowning stack that we don't want to have to call. And now we're in a spot where we are going to have to call her. You know, well, actually, now we can get away with it. Now we can get away with just folding, because LV Cabby kind of saved us here. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. That, my friends, is the best feeling in poker if you're Tiger 043. That is the roller coaster of poker, where you are ahead, you're feeling good, not feeling good, and then at the end you feel good again. It's the man in hole, basically. The man in hole arc right there. Yeah, best hand won. Well done, Tiger 043. We're all very happy for you. And it's pretty funny watching all these other stacks just so sad that we're not six-handed now. I mean, I feel like a lot of these guys, Lizaby, I mean, Tiger 043, you know, he was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for a hand. Finally picked up aces. You know, they're all playing pretty snug, which also conveniently stopped my laptop from being broken in two, is what Tiger 043 says. I've never broken anything after losing a hand at poker. I can say that. So pocket nines, that's a pretty good hand to have. We got Papa Smurf making a min raise. The problem with just calling here is that it's going to induce only child to come in cheap. The problem with raising is that it kind of induces Papa Smurf to come over the top of us, which is not what we want to see. We have Papa Smurf checking pretty quick on that flop, and I think we're looking at a bad ace jack, ace queen, something like that. I almost feel like we can probably take it away now. Ah, man. It's just not the flop we're looking for with nine of spades, nine of hearts, nine of spades. We're going to give Papa Smurf for having something, so whatever. Really, the ideal situation there is that he just folds pre-flop, or checks to us and folds to our continuation bet. But I don't think that's what his plan was. I think that it was checking to us to raise, and we saw him make that quick check before, and so we're going to say that we're at the point now where we can actually make a read that Papa Smurf checks quickly with hands he intends to check raise with. So where are we now? Are we still... Now we're back to fourth. So we go from fourth to seventh to second to fourth. I mean, we're really just kind of roller coastering all over the place. And look at Tiger 043 just coming up with these huge hands. It's amazing. So let's go ahead and give it a little min raise here. Try to steal the blinds and antes. LV Cabby isn't going to want to lose too much to us. So here we go ahead and fire out a c-bet and take it down with 9 high, boys. That's what we do. 4-5 offsuit. Just give it a fold. So go Mizzou 2 again. Thanks for joining the stream, Stubbs. He's talking about our buddy Ryan Tapin, who Ryan Tapin I think has 2 World Series of Poker circuit rings now. He's a buddy of ours back from Missouri, one of the Tigers. Go Tigers, Mizzou. I mean, how can Lizaby fold here? How can Lizaby fold here? You put half your stack, you put a third of your stack in. You're getting way more than 2 to 1 here. I mean, how bad does Elizabeth have to be sitting here where she's thinking that a fold is a good idea? And yet, it looks like she's going to fold. It looks like she's going to probably fold. Like, wow. Head exploding. Why? What are you doing, Elizabeth? What are you doing? And now this... It's just amazing. And I think, yeah, with that we have a new chip leader. We got Papa Smurf as the new chip leader. And 8-5 suited. 6-1 plus implied odds. Let's flop something good here. We're not going to donk lead into Papa Smurf. Not the flop we like to see. LV Cabbie calling pretty much puts any move that we would think about making just in the trash can. We got James Bear. As soon as I saw the Twitter update, I made sure to get right on, even though I should be asleep. It's not been a pleasant March, Washington Day. I'm sorry. Some shout outs. Love Hammer, James Bear. You know, guys, it looks like we're over 100 viewers now, which is pretty awesome. Thanks for joining us. You know, if you're just joining us, we're sitting here at the WSOP.com final table. It's the $20 Midnight Mayhem, and we are 4 for 4, feeling good. You know, do me a favor if you haven't already, just go ahead and click on that follow button. I'm trying to get those follows up to. It'd be awesome to get it over 1,000. One of these days, I'm really hoping to have one of those coveted Twitch partnerships that we see, like Somerville and Staples and all these other guys have. It'd be awesome just to be able to get that subscribe button on. So help do your part, huh? Just go ahead and click on that follow button. Here we go ahead and raise. Tiger043 has been playing so tight. Only Child 702. Does he re-raise? I mean, they know that we could have all sorts of stupid hands. They know this. They've seen the 10-4 suited. Tiger043 limping in and just calling. It's kind of a weird call. And it also kind of induces Only Child. And then he donk bets, which just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It really doesn't. Let's go ahead and see if we can't go ahead and get him off of it with a little $1,800 raise. How far are you willing to go with it, Tiger043? The whole way? I guess we'll call you. No, we're not calling you. We're folding our queen high. Yeah, king queen. Nice hand, Tiger043. Nice hand. Just brilliant. Brilliant. Fire out 600 into, fire out that min bet. Because why not? He's such a fucking retard. Okay, boys, what do we do here? He's making it 5 times our bet, which just is like telegraphing ace king, ace queen. If we fold, we're leaving ourselves with 13 big blinds. So we had 15. We went ahead and made a min bet. We might have the best hand. He did that awfully quick. Who knows? You know what? We're just going to go ahead and give Tiger043 credit for pocket kings. Wow. I don't know how we fold there, but we do. Spidey instincts kicking in pretty good here, guys. Let's take a look at where we're at. 5th out of 7. It's not so bad. Not really where we want to be. We would really like to have a bigger stack where we can punish, and now we don't really have a punishing stack anymore. 10s against 4s. That's going to be good for us. Hold 10s. So now we are on the money bubble, and we are 5th. We also have one of the tighter people that I've seen at a final table, Tiger043. Oh my god. Every single time she's had to turn over a hand, she's turned over a big pocket premium pair, and sometimes she turns them over even when she doesn't have to. Which, listen, guys, if you're watching this, take something away from what we're seeing here. Don't turn over your hands when you don't have to. Never show your hand. There's nothing good that can come from showing your hand. It makes zero sense. So be the light is the drowning stack here, but we're also on the bubble. Can we get through it? Can we get through the small blind and the big blind? Can we get through without be the light shoving and thinking that he has fold equity here? I guess not. We got Jack 6-6 and be the light lets his thing go down. Why? Why does he wait for so long? Because he wants to see a turn card, boys and girls. Because he doesn't want me to see bet. And that is, that's how you take it down with king high. We probably had the best hand. You know, he probably had some, you know, BS hand like an, you know, like an 8-7 suited or something where he doesn't, you know, he didn't connect, but he would like to see a free turn and a free river and a free showdown if he could. No, we're not going to give him that opportunity. And it's amazing how the big stacks have kind of pulled away from the small stacks. I mean, when we first got to the final table, everyone seemed to be kind of, you know, playing at about the same spot. And now, I mean, LV Cabby is just, you know, quite a bit ahead of you know, fourth only child. So we don't love it, but we're not folding. If we get just snap called here and he turns over ace-9, we're just hating our lives. But okay, good news. We didn't get snap called, and our ace-5 suited is enough to take down the pot with a 10 big blind shove. And keep in mind, a lot of the power in a hand like ace-5 suited comes in being able to you know, have a blocker, and you know, it makes it much less likely for him to actually have an ace. So here we are definitely rooting for the queens to hold up. And here we are, in the money. In the money, guys. Let's see. Congrats, everybody. So here's another takeaway, okay? When the money bubble bursts, don't congratulate everybody for making the money until you're pretty sure that the guy who just, you know, made the bubble boy is well away from the table. Chances are he was still watching there, and then Tiger 043 is like, congrats everybody. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so LV Cabby, can we call here? I mean, I feel like we're ahead, but when we are ahead, are we that far ahead? I don't know. I'm so on the fence here. I don't know what to do. When you don't know what to do, it's okay to fold. It's okay to fold. I don't love folding there, but you know, like I said, I don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. Ideally, we'd get a couple of these stacks kind of going at it. Or would actually wake up with you know, some sort of hand. I feel like we're just kind of floating around 10 big blinds, 9 big blinds, 8 big blinds. Get down to about 6 big blinds before we really feel like we have to make a move. With 6 big blinds, it's about 5K. We're still going to have enough of a little bit of fold equity there to get some folders. Ace-9 offsuit. And we got this guy making it 3 times the big blind. It's so weird. You know, generally when people are adjusting their pre-flop raise amount, they adjust it based on hand strength. And it feels like a shove, but it also feels like a fold. So if you're on the fence, it's okay to fold. We have definitely let a lot of hands go here, which I feel like might have been dominating. But at the same time, I mean, like, ace-9 isn't a powerhouse. You know, there's about half the aces he's raising there with are dominating us. So I don't know. It's tough. It always feels wrong to fold, though. It really does. Like the mind craves certainty so much, and it just always feels wrong. Now this is a tempting spot. Tempting spot to take a flop off. 3.5 to 1 plus implied odds. 4-3 offsuit. Probably gonna know where we're at. Yeah, sure. And completely whiff it. And did he completely whiff it? Who knows? I don't think 4 high is going to be good there. And we are in a spot now on break where when we come back, we're going to have 6 big blinds. So the small blind's going to hit us, then the big blind. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 hands that, before we're going to actually have to shove. And ideally, who we're going to shove against? We're going to shove against Tiger 043. And everyone's going to fold to our small blind. So I'm getting, what are you pointing at? What's the question that you want me to answer here? Donk
Right
betting,
play with
showing
7
hands,
eights.
doing everything wrong. Yeah, I agree.
James DeBeer, the right play with 7 8s, and the blind is to either shove or fold. Yes, and then is this the only legal? Is 888 poker out here or no? Is that done?
888 poker, I think, is in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
If you're in New Jersey, I would definitely recommend that you go, that you go check out. I think 888.
Is WSOP the only Nevada one now? Because
Yes.
The other one.
Actually, I think there might be another Nevada real money site. I think that South Point might have a real money site. Maybe Strat too. I don't know though. But for all intents and purposes, WSOP.com is really the only game in town if you're in Nevada. It really is. So I think I might be getting hosted by Killing Bird. If that's pretty awesome, Killing Bird. Thanks, man. Thanks for the host, man. Appreciate it. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, it'd be awesome to maybe get you to click on the follow button. I'm trying to get my my following up to, it would be so cool to get it up to 700 tonight. Right now, this is the 4th time we've streamed on Twitch, and it is the 4th time we've made a final table. We are 4 for 4 for final tables on WSOP.com when we stream, and I think last night we won a tournament live with you all, and it was just a real high. I got to think that I'm thinking that I'm going to be doing a lot more twitching and actually making a run for WSOP.com Player of the Year. A couple of other poker players kind of have a head start, but I feel like maybe I have a shot. So thanks for joining us Sunday night. We're going to try to take this down. We are kind of a short stack, which kind of sucks. We're sitting here with 6,229 tournament chips. So we are still, we're pretty distant. If 4th place has double the chips that we do, it just really hasn't gone our way. But we have enough chips to really put a hurt on anybody who calls us and doubles us up. No one wants to lose 6,000. Even LV Cabby over there with 35,000 has, it would be, 18% of his stack. I mean, it's a significant percentage of him. So no one wants to really lose their position. So we got beer and poker. How much is first in this tournament? I'm going to go ahead and show the lobby just so you guys can kind of see what we're playing for here. So first is $314. That'll buy a lot of pies. We got 212 for second, 127 for third, 102 for fourth. So there's not really a big pay jump between 5th and 4th, or even 4th and 3rd, really. Yeah, I mean we're gonna see some fireworks. We're probably going to have to I don't know. We're probably gonna have to be shoving up against Tiger 043 if everyone folds to our small blind. We're probably going to be shoving against Only Child 702 if everyone folds to our button, and we're definitely going to be shoving into Papa Smurf if we get the chance in the in the cutoff. So we are back from break. Let's go ahead and get back to it. We actually have a hand where we can feel good about getting all of our chips in. I guess we would love it if Tiger 043 actually wakes up with like 6s here or 4s here. But whatever, if she folds and we are actually able to pick up the blinds and the antes, that's huge for us. We had 6,200 at the start of that hand. We were able to increase our stack 18% without even seeing a flop, so we're fine there. Here we're making the call. I think that if Papa Smurf had a huge hand, then he's gonna spend a little more time before he makes the shove. So hold pocket 9s, hold. There we go. It's a Sunday miracle, guys. We go from last place now into not last place. Now we actually have enough chips to hurt somebody, and I feel like we actually have a pretty good read on Papa Smurf too. I mean, this is a guy who has timing tells. You really don't run across you don't run across a lot of reliable timing tells online. They're really hard to pick up. But sometimes they're there. Sometimes you're going to get a guy who checks really quick when he wants to go for the check raise, and shoves really quick with hands like 6s. Where I just don't think that he's shoving really quick if he has like aces or kings. I think he's going to try to play it like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? But then again, he could just be like watching a movie, and that's why we get those kind of things. So I really don't like folding here, but I like calling even less. Only Child 702 really hasn't been abusing us much. So 9-3 suited, that's about at the bottom of our range. I think it's perfectly okay to fold there. Papa Smurf makes the shove like he probably should. Guys, this is pretty awesome. 212 live viewers watching what's hopefully going to end in taking down a final table. Let's take a look at where we are again. Load up that lobby. 4th out of 5. But, really with 15,000, we're right in there with, 2nd and 3rd place. So, definitely enough to put some damage on anybody. Even the chip leader, really. I mean, if we double through the chip leader, he's back down to 20,000. So, feeling good about it. Feeling good about it. Yeah, and
influx.
Yeah, I think that was from Killing Bird, man. I think Killing Bird,
No,
is hosting our stream, so I think we got a lot of callers from him. Thanks for sharing, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks again, Killing Bird. Yeah, and we're not folding here. We're getting 2-1. We're hoping to have a head. Like, this is just ridiculously stupid of Papa Smurf. He doesn't have fold equity, and now we lose to just a stupid hand. Always sucks when the donkeys get rewarded for just nauseating hands like that. Whatever. And we are back to 5th out of 5. And Papa Smurf is 0 to hero. God, this is quite the roller coaster, boys. Quite the roller coaster. And this is going to be a fun hand to go ahead and take a flop off with. It's actually not a bad flop for 8-6 suited. It would be great to get a free turn. Do we have fold equity? Probably not. Probably not. We'll just go ahead and fold. We don't love it, but we if everyone had folded to us, we're definitely going to make the shove against Tiger 043. Tiger 043 has just been playing too snug for us to give up an opportunity to steal a big blind without anything. Wow, and look at Papa Smurf. just all of a sudden playing like he's the big stack, like, you know, LV Cabby isn't right next to him. We've seen him raise pre-flop now 4 times in a row. He's playing like an idiot, really. But that's okay. You know, he's supposed to be out the door in 5th place with his King 3 offsuit. I'm still steaming a little bit out of that. It doesn't matter how big or small the beat is. Anytime you take a bad beat, it just sucks. It also sucks, you know, I mean, he's sitting here making that move in a situation where he has 0 fold equity. I'm literally folding 0 hands there. But still, I mean, is he ever ahead of anything with King 3? No. No, he's not. So I hate making these under-the-gun shoves because so often someone wakes up with a hand that they can call with, but King 10 offsuit is strong enough, and we don't really want to get to the point where we just have no fold equity, which is where we would be if we let that one go. Wow. And here, instead of 2 times the big blind, only child makes it 3 times the big blind, which is kind of a weird change up. You know, it's kind of a weird change up. And again, when people are varying their bet, a lot of times they're doing it based on hand strength. You know, they're varying it based on hand strength, and they're betting more with stronger hands and less with weaker hands. So it's kind of something to be aware of. God, just back and forth and back and forth. Funk is back. Thanks for joining us. You pay for my shoes. That's a great. That is a great. That's a great handle, man. You pay for my shoes, guys. If you're enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying you know, watching us make final tables here, I really encourage you to go ahead and push that follow button. It would mean a lot to us. Wow, look at that. 4 times the big blind. LV Cabby's just really all over the place. And I don't advise you follow what you're seeing here. Make your pre-flop raises the same standard amount. You don't want you don't want people to be putting you on, you know, shit. Do we have fold equity? Of course we have fold equity, but I think it's also okay just to let that one go. That one's real close. But King 6 isn't. We don't love King 6. Then again, if these blinds pass us and we have 3,400, we're just completely screwed. We might have lost a pretty good opportunity there with King 6 to maybe get Papa Smurf to fold. I just don't feel like he's ever folding. I feel like he's, you know, taking, you know, the $5,000 with whatever 2 stupid cards he's got. Yes, very well played. Well played, Smurf. Very well played, Smurf. Very well played, getting it all in with your King High against my Ace High. Dumb motherfucker. God. Okay, we'll go ahead and fold here. Thanks there, little buddy. Yeah, you're welcome, Papa Smurf. You stupid asshole. That's okay. God, I hate being in this spot. 7-2 offsuit with 0 fold equity. It really sucks because, you know, we would like to shove, but there's nowhere really where we have fold equity. So we just basically have to wait for a hand that we hope is best. And obviously, Ace King offsuit is probably best. We're very lucky to have this opportunity to. Even better. This is a great spot. You know. Ugh. Club, King, come on. Boom. There we go. Best hand wins. Now we're back to 4th out of 5 with 10 big blinds. So now we have fold equity again. You know, this is... What a roller coaster this has been. We've got 10 times a big blind. We've got enough to maybe get Papa Smurf to fold. Yeah, I think Papa Smurf folds here a lot of the time. Hold. Yeah, I think that no 7... Beautiful. Wow, look at that. Double up, 0 to hero, right back up to being able to hurt anybody. Amazing. And this is this has been quite the ride. I honestly, my stomach is kind of sick from all the ups and downs of this tournament. It's just... And no one's going out. And I feel like we've been 5th for like, you know, we've been 5-handed for like, you know, like 3 hours now. You know, no one's going out. It's just, everyone's just trading chips back and forth and back and forth. It's just mind-boggling. So yeah. Yeah, wow, 257 watching the final table. Hopefully we'll be able to close this out with another win. You know, we're 4 for 4 on Twitch streams, guys. I feel like a lot of it has to do with you guys. You know, keep with the positive energy. It would be great to me. You know, if you haven't already, click on that follow button and let's bring this home, man. Let's bring it home. I want to win another tournament. I want to win another tournament on Twitch. I want to go 50%. I mean, who? That's a hell of a batting slugging percentage, isn't it? So we've got Papa Smurf, steaming, 3 times the big blind, and LV Cabby acting like the big stack should, putting him to the test. Well done, LV Cabby. I'm glad he did that because I really didn't want to have to fold, which I probably would have, and I really didn't want to fold. It always makes me feel bad folding. LV Cabby again, just all over the place with his pre-flop raises. 3 times, 4 times, 2 times, 2.5 times. What does it mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. The bigger the big blind multiple of his pre-flop raises, the bigger the hand. That's what it means. That's what the standard level 1 player is doing here. So, so tempting here. So tempting. ZSD Funreal says, look, it's online drunk poker. Don't try to make sense of their play. I kind of agree. You know, it's 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning, I feel like there is a good chance that these guys are drunk. There is a pretty decent chance. Yeah, so James Bear says, I think King 6 is really close because of how bad Papa Smurf is and might call you with crap and double you up. I mean, I think King 6 is really close too. I think it's really close too. Moonshaw. Yeah, I kind of sensed that as well. I kind of sensed that little thank you little buddy was a little bit of a kind of a dig. Okay, so we are second, 2 out of 4. We can put some pressure on Tiger and Papa Smurf. I don't feel like we can put too much pressure on LV Cabby, but we can put some pressure on these fucktards. Go ahead and make the raise and hope Papa Smurf just gives it up. Or shoves with King 3 offsuit, and we'll snap call with 9-3 offsuit. Not really. We're not going to be calling there, but wow. Here we would probably call if Tiger or Papa Smurf shoved. We might also call if LV Cabby shoves. Now we hope that LV Cabby folds, so... Oh, Jesus, guys, what do we do here? What do we do here? I have no idea what to do here. I feel like... Oh, jeez. I think we fold. I think LV Cabby probably has a bigger pocket pair than 7s, right? Yep. He has pocket 8s, and we get to look like a genius. Spidey senses, man. Don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Whew. And that would have been pretty painful if LV Cabby would have folded and we would have made the call against Papa Smurf with pocket 7s against overcards, and he would have hit. I mean, that is results-oriented thinking at its finest, but it's really pretty lucky that LV Cabby woke up with the 8s when he did, so he could make the call and block us from losing a lot of chips. So, 10 high. We got LV Cabby just shoving it. Okay. Makes our decision easy. It's always nice when you don't have a tough decision to make. Wow, and Tiger 4-3. Ooh. Tiger. I can't say I approve of this. I'm Dutch Boyd, and I do not approve of this message. Calling off all of your stack with Queen Jack just doesn't make a lot of sense here. You know, so often you're just losing. You know, there's so much of the time you're losing there that does not make sense to me. Yeah, we'll go ahead and fire out a min raise and play some poker with Papa Smurf.
I'm gonna go in a minute.
He made a really quick check there. which could be a give up. That's a pretty good turn for ace 5. And now we actually have a double gut shot here. So let's take the free card. And ace high could be ahead. You know, we could be actually looking at